You say you would never pay on the first date.
Good morning, Nat. Yes, that's right. I would never pay on the first date. I think chivalry is a very important part of dating. And in fact, in a recent study, 85% of men felt that they should pay for the first date. So there is a general consensus there. It sets the tone for romance. And nothing is more of a buzzkill when you get to the end of the date and you have to split the bill.
What about in a same-sex relationship?
Well, that's a relationship. That's different.
Or date.
Dating has different rules.
Okay.
Okay, what about tip number 2? This is really interesting, a bit of a trap too. You say you would never ask questions or answer questions about past relationships.
Absolutely. A first date should be fun, flirty and pressure-free. I know there's a tendency for a lot of people to ask those hard-hitting questions on a first date to try and, predict or understand their circumstance. And I just think it's really inappropriate. You should just focus on having fun, finding out what you have in common. Okay. And the goal of date number 1 is to get to date number 2.
Right.
Got it.
And then the therapy starts. No.
Yeah. That's marriage. Now, you'd never do more than kiss after a first date if you are looking for a relationship.
That's right. I know that sounds old-fashioned, but today with the hookup culture that exists on apps, I think it's really important to take a stand and show that that's not what you're after. Yeah. And anyway, it's so much more interesting to be intimate with someone after you've known them for a while and you've had that sexual tension build.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. I like that. I like that. This one is kind of centred around Riz, I guess the youngsters call it. You say, don't decide how attractive someone is until you meet them in person.
Yes, 100%. Look, a photo is filtered. It's not... You can't get any sense of chemistry from a photo. You have to be sitting in front of someone to see how you respond, how your body reacts. Plus, a photo doesn't give you any idea of how smart they are, what their sense of humour is, what their values are, if they're kind or generous, and they're the things that you should be focusing on when choosing a partner, not that they look good in a selfie.
Yeah,
right.
It's about the vibe. Now, finally, never expect fireworks on a first date.
Yes, I know. What an odd, thing to say. But look, people do go into dates with these expectations of fireworks and romance. And look, we don't live in a Hollywood film, okay? Connection can often start with a spark, not a bang. So just enjoy the date, be present, expect that you'll have a good time and you will, but don't go in with such a high expectation because it's a very high bar to raise. And if it's not met, then there's just disappointment.
Don't expect the Notebook. Thanks for coming in. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure.